Hey guys, welcome to lesson 2, the treaty making period. So in lesson 1, we learned all about how Native Americans thrived in the very diverse environments and climates of Washington state. In this lesson, we're going to learn about how those resources really kind of led to conflicts between people moving west and the Native Americans. So our state has always kind of been known as like this unicorn state, even way back in the day, because we have so many ample natural resources, right? The amount of rain that we get creates these lush, beautiful forests that you see behind me. We have rivers that teem with salmon and other fish that have sustained the tribes and even sustain our economy today. Eastern Washington has these wide open grazing lands that are perfect for farming and agriculture. And we also have a lot of mineral resources that are in our ground, like gold and silver, that are very valuable. So in the 1800s, as the East Coast was really filling up with Americans as the population was growing, people wanted to expand west. They knew that there were these wide open spaces west. There was more land for them to kind of make a life for themselves. And they knew that there were valuable natural resources, timber, fur, fish, gold. So people wanted to come out west, and they did by the thousands, wagon trains of people. The issue was that the people were moving here to Washington state and to the west coast of the United States without really the permission of the Native Americans who inhabited these lands. So as we saw in lesson 1, Native Americans did not have a concept or an idea of private property, but westward settlers did. So these people who were moving from the east to the west thought that they could own land. And that just wasn't a concept that was familiar or even existed to Native Americans. And this created huge clashes between westward settlers and the Native Americans. So to help kind of quell or squash the conflicts, the U.S. government and the Washington Territory government made treaties with Native Americans. And what they said was that in exchange for this native land, the federal government of the United States and the Washington Territory would gift Native Americans these huge reserved areas where they could be left undisturbed. The issue was that these treaties were made in English, and when you are trying to translate these very intricate details of a treaty, a lot of things got lost in translation, and the Native Americans were coerced or forced to give up their traditional tribal lands in exchange for reserved areas that were not as valuable. And it led to huge conflicts and led into a period of American history known as the Indian Wars that we're going to learn about in lesson 3. So as you're reading this lesson, try to put yourself in the shoes of Native Americans who are encountering people that they've never seen before, speaking a language they've never heard before, and trying to understand concepts that they have never had before. And then try to put yourself in the shoes of a settler moving west, right? The East Coast is packed, they're looking for new opportunity, and the West presents that opportunity for them. So as I said last time too, make sure that you are packing your responses with as much detail as possible, and use as many of the academic vocabulary words that we're learning in each lesson in your written responses, okay? So enjoy the reading on treaty making.